I believe there's no area of life which can't benefit by being massed up a notch or two. You know, another N+1 level of mathematics. And recently, we were getting our bathroom at home retiled. So we had some people in the builders were doing like some work in the garden first, and then we're going to come in and do the tiling in the bathroom. And think about tiling it's just the process of arranging shapes to completely cover a surface. And there's actually a whole area of mathematical research about how you can arrange shapes to completely cover a surface. And in maths, that's called tiling. So I was like, this writes itself, right? And there's some amazing research into tiling going on in mathematics. There's some phenomenal shapes which will completely tile a surface. My absolute favorite is this one here. This is a 9-sided shape that I call a spiral tile, because if you repeat this over and over again, you get two linked spirals which completely cover a surface. And this is ongoing research. So this tiling pattern, this is made up of 5-sided shapes, so it's a pentagonal tiling. This was only discovered in 2015. It's the 15th way you can arrange the same shape over and over again that has 5 sides and completely covers a surface. And in only 2017 was it finally proved that there's no other pentagonal tilings. This is the last one, right? This is actual happening mathematical research. I was like, oh, this is so good. There's so many options. So I went down to the tiling shop and I was like, right, what shapes can you do? And they were like, sir, have you met the rectangle? Well, come on. They're like, well, look how well it covers the surface. I'm like, it's so boring. And they're like, well, comes in more than one color. I'm like, no, it's still the same shape. You can't color it in. It doesn't become a different shape. I was like, look, could you do me anything in a right-angled triangle? Because this is a 60-degree, 30-degree, 90-degree right-angled triangle. And if you have this shape, for a start, you can have a meaningful second color. This is the mirror image. So this is the flipped version of that. You can't get the second one by just rearranging the first one. And apparently, you can't just stick tiles on the other way to save money, right? So I was like, okay, if you get one of these for each of the reflections and you put them together, you get a kite. If you then copy the kite a few times, you get yourself a hexagon. And once you've got a hexagon, the plane is yours, right? So you repeat this over and over again, and look at that. That is a tiling pattern. So there's still the hexagons that we saw a second ago. There are now loads of triangles. There are triangles all over this. And if you're a rectangle fan, you're not left out, because the rectangles are still in there. You can see rectangles going this way, rectangles going that way. There are even rectangles on another angle, right? Actually, so if I rotate this around, you can see let's put it. I hope that's cleared that up for you. There's a lot going on, is what I'm trying to establish, right? I was like, this is what I want. So I went to my wife and went, Lucy, can we have this in the bathroom? And she was like, yes, as long as you can convince the builders. I was like, because at this point, they put up with a lot of my math shit. Apparently, if you want all your retaining walls a prime number of bricks high, that's not an off-the-shelf option. And so I was like, it's okay, right, I know I'm being a jerk. I just need to make it as straightforward and as painless for them as possible, right? So I know I'm being a little bit unreasonable. So I thought, well, you know what, actually, it's reasonably straightforward. It's not more complicated than putting on normal tiles. Because to describe this pattern, all you have to do is just pick one of the triangles, and then you count how many of the same colored triangle there are around each of the 3 corners. And so at the top one, there's 6 of each color, then down here we've got 3 of each color, and over there's 2 of each color. And that's all you have to do is just repeat 6, 3, 2. And if you do the 6, 3, 2 pattern over and over and over again, you automatically get this pattern. It can't go wrong. It can go wrong. Because I thought, you know what, I'll just stress test this. What could possibly throw this off? And I realized one problem is if a number is incorrect. So if they accidentally did 532. If any of the numbers were smaller, well, 532, you wouldn't have enough around those corners. Well, you meant to have 6. You'd end up with gaps. The only way to do 532 without gaps is if you peel the tiles up off the wall and then join them together. And if you keep doing that, you actually end up with a closed ball of tiles, which should tip you off that something's gone wrong, because you're now outside the bathroom. I don't know, right? So, in fact, I made a model of what that would look like. This is it. Gave that to the builders. They said you shouldn't have. And if you increase any of the numbers, like something like 732, you're like, well, how on earth can you fit, like, you can't fit 7 around a point. Okay, well, you can fit 7 around the point, but you get a pattern like this. And this is called hyperbolic tiling. And if you increase any of the numbers, it goes hyperbolic. And for this, you see it works, except as you go out from the middle, the shapes get smaller and they change shape. Which adds to the cost. And that's for any case where you increase it. This is 732, this is 642, it goes hyperbolic as well. And it's kind of a worst case scenario. This is infinity, infinity, infinity. Pretty sure I wasn't going to come home to that. And some builders going, phew, that took forever. And then it dawned on me, right, that just by looking at what could go wrong tiling a bathroom, I had covered all 3 major mathematical geometries: hyperbolic, Euclidean, and spherical. Actually, if you look at the point where it changes, you can see all 3 in action. So if you put heptagons, 7-sided shapes, on all the 7 points, and you fill in the rest with hexagons, that's your hyperbolic tiling. For the flat Euclidean one, you put in the hexagons, and the rest of it's hexagons, right? Hexagons, the plane is yours. And finally, the sphere, you've got these 5 points where it sticks out, and the 5 are meeting at each one. If you turn those into pentagons, and then you join the rest of it together as hexagons, you get a sphere. Or more accurately, you get a football, right? This is why I love the classic football. It's a ball because of the pentagons. The geometry is right there. It's highlighted in the design of the ball why it's a ball. It's so lovely. And it's why I get very emotional when I see things like this. What is that? No! No! That's no ball! It gets worse, because the official UK street signs for a football stadium, we took this on the photo, last tour, out of the tour van. What is this? That's all hexagons. Now, I hate to labor a point. Who am I kidding? I love laboring a point. This is a football. The football has pentagons on it. Those are hexagons. It's wrong. Not only is it wrong, you actually can't make a closed, nicely shaped ball using all hexagons. Even distorted hexagons, it can't work. Beyond wrong, it's impossible. The worst type of wrong. And well, at least it's impossible in our reality. But to be fair, all the other street signs do work in our reality. Like, if you're going to go to a zoo and you follow the signs, that you see a picture of a real elephant. There wasn't a designer somewhere going, what's an elephant look like? Oh, I don't know. Legs, a trunk. Elephanty enough. Why are you complaining? Accuracy isn't everything, right? And if you go to a castle, you see a picture of a real castle, not some Escher nightmare. And if you go fishing, you see a picture of a real fish, not some Lovecraftian monster from beyond our perception. So why don't the street signs work for a football stadium? So I wrote to the government. And not just any old letter to the government, an official parliamentary petition, right, to correct the football. And the first time, because you got to apply for these, I applied for one, and they denied it. I got an email saying, we have cancelled your petition to correct the street signs because, and I quote, we think you're probably joking. I thought, well, first of all, best review ever. Secondly, I'm not joking. And I had this exchange of emails. And eventually I convinced the UK government that I'm not funny. They let me have the petition. Give me a cheer if you signed this petition. Yay! Yes! I've got some updates. So, over 20,000 people signed my petition. The government had to respond. And their response was that they're not going to change the street signs. In their response, they had 2 conflicting reasons. They said, number 1, if we change them, the change will be so small, no one will notice. What's the point? Secondly, if we change them, the correct geometry will be so distracting, it will increase the likelihood of accidents. The driver's going, is that right? Boom, I don't know. Right? And so I'm outraged. And if you want to see the full government response, I've set up an auto redirect. If you go to Maths Balls, and it is a load of maths balls, you can read the full response. Oh, that is not, one person was like, it's not working, and they thought I'd said Maths Balls. Mass balls. If you go to massballs.com, you can read the whole thing. And I don't know what to do now. I mean, my plan is get everyone write to your local MP. They haven't got a lot going on at the moment. If you know anyone in the Department for Transport, send me their details, right? Like, if we all band together, we can change society for the better. For a very narrow definition of better, right? Because in these, politically charged times, surely the one thing we can all agree on is that our street signage should at least be mathematically plausible, right? So I want everyone to get involved, and I'll keep pushing this forward. And, the bathroom, sorry. Do you want to see? Because I'll be honest, I got distracted with the football thing. I did actually get the bathroom retailed. Do you want to see what I ended up with? Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, everyone, this is my new bathroom wall. Go to massballs.com. Thank you very much.